Hey, what's going on, everybody? Make sure my mic is on. Couldn't sleep. Forgot to do some arting. So let's give this a shot. First time streaming on Melon. So far, I'm liking it. And I figured out how to do background music, and they don't kind of limit you at the moment. So let me make sure I'm hooked up to the right. Cool. I'm hooked up to my 5G. We're going to get some music going, man. And then any feedback I can get, dude, would be great. I was able to just like put a whole album. You go to share, and then you click share audio, and it shows up on the left hand side. So we're trying now to mellow mind streaming the whole 30-minute album. Let's see how that goes. I just want to do some drawing, man. So impromptu stream. I am going to do my normal streams on Tuesday again. I was getting over a wicked cold. But now we're alive. Now we're okay. Still feel like I have a frog in my throat sometime. Well, just wanted to draw some cartoony stuff. I'm working on this mascot for my game store, and I want to do shirts and stuff. And let's turn this down a bit. This light is super bright, man. Take it easy, light. Chill out, bro. So yeah. So here we are. His name's Pocket, and he's obviously a Game Boy because it is a game store. So did a couple different designs here. Try to make him look like a little monkey. I shared these on Twitter too, and then also did a rabbit. And then I gave him two little antennas with a little nose and stuff. But my wife says this is the one to go with, so that's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm thinking that's gonna be it. So I thought about maybe even I was trying to do some drawing earlier, and here's my daughter helping me, and I was like, well, that's not happening. This ain't gonna work at all. Do you want to draw some more? I did another picture that I shared that he has like a sword. So the different idea was that he'd go into like different genres of gaming, like RPGs, fantasy, run and gun, shoot 'em up, stuff like that, So you go into different types of games. So I did this one where he was like in a fantasy game with a shield, blocking some fire and stuff. And man, that one came out okay. I was mainly experimenting with different types of stuff here. So that was the idea. But I wanted to give him like some kind of like cool weapon. So I think I'm just gonna give him like a giant like mallet. So I was gonna draw him like swinging the mallet, So that's kind of what we're doing now. I got the scrap piece of paper, and I don't know if I should draw like this or maybe I should go horizontal. I see him smashing it down, so I think that'll be cool. So let's see how well this is gonna turn out too. I'm not doing blue line, I'm doing regular pencil. So let's see how that's gonna show up. But he's gonna kind of, even though he's a Game Boy, he's gonna kind of like bend and flex, almost like a sponge. I should just get a sponge and start shaping, like grab it and shape it. I just wanted to draw. I've been kind of on a little cartoony kick lately, not drawing serious stuff. Kind of having fun with doing a more like cartoony style like I used to do in high school. And so I think I might draw some more CG characters in this kind of like funky style that I do. And I think I'm just gonna leave this up for some kind of reference. Give you guys something neat to look at. Let's move this ruler. I love this ruler, but it just doesn't have any holes, so I can't hang it up. So it's always like a kind of a battle to put it someplace because it's big, which I love, but let's put this guy to the side. Can we see that a bit? Here, I'll drop him down. We'll clip him to the little board here. Let's put him maybe there. At least you guys could see one of them. And I'll just draw him here. But he has a little power button up here. And then my wife said she likes the antenna, the little antenna, but she said you gotta kind of give it like a little bulb thing. And I like the antenna because it can show motion, which is pretty cool. And then the little screen, and he's gonna have 2 buttons. Let's do this. I think I'm gonna kind of make him like a bean. You know, I think like a bean is a good shape. And then he's gonna kind of be like smashing the big hammer. Boing! I don't know if you could see that well. It might be yeah, too bright. Let me maybe move some stuff here. I think that's the problem. Or you know, let me see if I could change my camera some. I don't know. It's actually looking pretty good. We'll maybe we can do that a little bit. It's gonna be. You guys can see that, okay? I just can't have I have a camera here, and I just can't. Otherwise, it's like here in my face. Oh, Mo Biggs. Hey, what's up, Mo? They're chilling there for a minute. Hey, Mo. Thanks for tuning in, man. So I've been getting over this cold. You know what I think I'm gonna throw? Let me see if I can throw something up here. Let's move this up there. See if that's cool. I do have everything packed. I just have to all the art stuff. I just have to take it to the post office. I finally got over my cold, so it's gonna be a pain in the ass to go there. But yeah, I got about 5 packages. So I got your stuff set, man. I'll probably take it sometime this week for sure, dude. So make sure I get your art out to you. And I always appreciate you hanging out, man, and popping in, even though you don't hang out long or whatever. Even just to pop in and saying hello is always dope, man. So I appreciate you, man. So I'm thinking, let's kind of lay this out. He's gonna have a R here with the chunky gloves. No rush, whenever it's convenient. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey, 80s, what's up, man? Yeah, you let me know if you wanted me to shoot you a link, dude. I'm just hanging out, not really doing much, so just me chilling, you know. So appreciate you coming by, man. If you're not, you know, I know you're recuperating. I know I saw you guys streamed for 5 hours yesterday. I had to tap out, man. I was like, I gotta go to work in the morning. You know, so, and usually on the weekends I try to make that's when I try to make my daughter breakfast and stuff too. So here's the tricky part, is I just don't want to the tricky part is I don't want him to it might look like that either way, man. I don't want him to. He's holding the hammer, but it's, you know, I don't want to look like he's holding his fucking ding dong, man. So I might have to change some angles, but we could do that. Let's get the I want to get the motion down first, and then maybe we'll move him where we need to move him at. Make sure I'm setting the camera. tap out, go to work. Sounds kind of uppity. Having a brain fart here. This some should be on the top, I think. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna change his angle. Let's get where the hammer needs to go first. And then, I should have scooted him over so the hammer would be here in the middle. To give more space for the hammer, and I gotta fit it in. I want it to be bigger. I gotta do an intro too. I want to do an intro showing like the broken comic, Compass comic stuff. I want to plug the website. I want to do talk about Odin stuff. Share all my dudes. All my dudes' projects that they're working on and stuff, man. Because that's how dudes do each other. Ding dong sell comics. That's the new Marvel method. If it was, Marvel would be doing well. That's the problem. I think this is new character Gay Boy out of pocket. He says, struggling to fit it in and wants it bigger. That's how dudes do each other. Yep. Sounds about right. I want this, but he's gonna be a mascot for the game store, so I want to design shirts with him and stuff. So this maybe he keeps. I might keep him like this. I think no matter what I do, I feel like it's going to look like a ding dong. Because even if I change his angle here, I'm locked in. Because his legs are going to be like this too. So I ain't going to have any. But then that does kind of move him side. We'll do that. That just kind of move him over, which is dope. That makes him less crowded. I'll scoot him over. We don't need that up here. Mo Biggs dropping links. I saw this shit and thought you might like it. There you go. Also, kind of working on this style. I'm thinking it'd be cool to draw like, draw some CG characters in like this funky style I'm working on. Because it is pretty fun. I was mentioned earlier, I did 80s. Have not seen that one yet. I figured out how to share audio. In case you didn't know, 80s is pretty easy. You just go to share, the little arrow, and when you click on that, or the little screen, you get to pick if you want to share a screen or audio, and it just shows up on your left hand side. I'll be getting that art. I'll be getting that art out next week. Finally hit 60 subs, so that's pretty awesome. I tell you what, though, 80s, man, your channel's growing awesome, which is cool, dude. Yeah, I think you're at like almost 400 now, dude. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I remember saying about all those old systems back in the day, the graphics can't get any better. Yeah. You know what, though? There's always a sacrifice, though, too, man. I mean, now we get the awesome graphics and stuff, dude, but at the same time, it's like you gotta install the game, or you gotta update the game. It's almost kind of like you don't even own the game anymore. It's so I'm kind of like, at least if I buy, if I buy a Super Nintendo game, man, I own that sucker. You buy a disc today, half the game probably ain't even on the damn thing. So, I mean, it's cool, but I just feel like the new stuff is just temporary. But I guess that's the sacrifices that you make for better graphics, I suppose. But at the same time, though, you have all these indie studios making stuff that looks like OG Super Nintendo and 32-bit side-scrolling stuff now. So it's like, let's make that curve. Yeah, that curve is better. Shows more action. So everybody's doing pseudo retro stuff anyway, so it's like, or they're re-releasing old stuff now too. It's like, here's a collection of old games. Make sure I keep it on it. Thanks, brother. I love hanging out. I'm looking forward to the 500 sub giveaway. Yeah, man, for sure, dude. That's awesome. Halfway there, dude. You hit 1,000, then you can start doing super chats and monetization, man. He also says, yeah, I always have more fun playing the older games. I think that's what a lot of people like, man. I mean, granted, I love me some Elden Ring and like stuff like that, dude. I'm not gonna knock the newer stuff either. It does have its benefits, but I just feel like 10 years from now, are you going to be able to grab that PlayStation 4 game, throw it in and play it? Just like you could grab your Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, throw it in and play it? I don't know. Is the community going to have to step up, the modding community, or even the whole ISO-ROM community to make the patches available for stuff like that? Because some of these games, man, you can't even play. They got day one patches, But I can grab my copy of Turtles in Time, throw that sucker in. Even, some of these older CD games, I can grab my copy of my Dreamcast of Marvel vs. Capcom or Power Stone, put that sucker in, man. I know it's there, it's gonna work. No patches necessary. No internet needed. So just like anything, man, sacrifices are always made, graphics. But at least I know I own those things, Hey, hail Jester Juice. Thanks for coming on in, man. Yeah, now those lasers, those last log, they're all starting to go now. But that 64, man, that 64 and that Super Nintendo, even the Nintendo, you throw a new 72-pin connector in that bad boy, dude, they work. Just saying. Nintendo came out 82, 83. Still works like a champ. So I feel like the cartridge stuff is going to outlast all this CD crap. And even on the Switch, especially Nintendo's first party stuff, I don't have to download anything to play Kirby or Mario. I put that sucker in and it plays. The only bummer is when they do those stupid third-party collections and they give you the shitty one on the, like Borderlands. They give you the shitty one. They give you Borderlands 1 on the Switch cartridge, and then they make you download 2. It's like, no, at least give me the good one on the physical. So something like that, I understand, because the Switch, graphic-wise and space-wise, again, sacrifices, But I play that Kirby game, or I play Animal Crossing, I gotta throw that sucker in there, man. It works. So I feel like in terms of modern consoles, I feel like the Switch has the most future-proofing done. At least for some of their stuff. Yeah, I'm with you, 80s, man. I'm thinking about I got a Dreamcast here that doesn't, that's the wrong pencil. I'm sorry, I'm drawing blue. I have a Dreamcast here that has a bad laser. Actually, I took the laser out. It was a Japanese Dreamcast. and I took the laser out to put it in my Sega because I got a Sega Sports one, the black Dreamcast. And I took that laser out of the Japanese one to fix the Sega Sports one, since that one's rare and looks cool. And I might do the same thing you did, man. Do that GDMU in there, and then just have the whole Dreamcast library. And I have a neat I have this badass arcade stick. That's like a legit like 2-player. Like if you grabbed an arcade stick, like the top part from the cabinet and like pulled it off, like that's what it is. It's like, I mean, the thing's made out of wood. It has like all like the buttons and stuff, and it actually works with a couple consoles, but it works with the Dreamcast. So I think I might throw a GDMU in that thing, and then set it up on a TV, on a VGA TV in the store, because I'm putting arcade cabinets in my store. I got a local customer of mine. He has cabinets. He tried to do an arcade at the flea market, but nobody came, and I cleared out an area in my store. And so I'm gonna have arcade cabinets back there. They're gonna be set up to free play. You just pay like a flat fee to play on them, like an hourly fee, like $3 or $5 for the hour, and you just go back there and play free play stuff. But to set up a little Dreamcast station with those games, Marvel vs. Capcom, King of Fighters, Capcom vs. SNK, like all of those on there on a GDMU with that arcade stick, and then you get to play those fighting games. So I think that'll be pretty neat too. I think it's all right. We got to throw his other leg up here. Yeah, they did that with Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Rogue. Yeah, the Rogue one had to be downloaded. Yeah, it's like, what? The Switch is definitely the most future-proof modern console, especially since that 40% of them are given away as vasectomy celebration gifts for dudes' wives' boyfriends. Yeah. To their credit, though, I mean, and that's kind of, sometimes Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, which is weird. I mean, sometimes they do great, like 90% of the time they're good, and sometimes they do like a dumbass decision. It's like, why? But you kind of know when Nintendo's dropping a game, like one of their first party games, Metroid Dread, Kirby's Forgotten Land, Mario Odyssey, Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild, like all these games that they're dropping, man. They're finished, and that's kind of the thing. It's like what they put out, man. It's like this is a finished game, and so to their credit, But then sometimes they do stupid stuff. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure. That, I mean, then they do handhelds, dude. Nintendo's the last. And one thing to kind of keep in mind is Nintendo's the last true game company that exists. I mean, in the console game, because Sega's not around. Like Nintendo's not like out there making computers or selling TVs or building, whatever. Like Microsoft, they're not doing Windows. They're not. Nintendo is a game company, man, and they're the only one out of the big three that is legit game company. Like that's what they do. So it's like, honestly, if Sony stopped making PlayStations, I think they'd be fine. Microsoft, they stopped doing Xboxes, I think they'd be fine because they're doing other shit. Nintendo, that's what they do, man. They live and breathe fucking games. And I mean, mad props to them, dude. Everybody's, and then everybody else jumped into their game. Everybody jumped into their realm. But at the same time, my comparison was that Nintendo, when Disney was good, Nintendo was like the Disney of games. Disney doesn't have to compete with other shit. Let's talk about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, Disney and Pixar and stuff, what they were doing, they had their audience. They came out with their shit. They didn't have to compete with anybody. They were Disney. That's Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have to compete with Sony and Microsoft. They got their own audience. They're doing their own shit. He says Nintendo, yeah. So I give Nintendo mad props because they're the only true game company left. Atari's not making consoles. Sega's not making consoles. And even the variety of the library that they got. I mean, look at you got Sony censoring games, dude. You got Sony fucking censoring Japanese games, and Switch is like, nah, man, let it ride. Like, it's like backwards world. Like, I can't believe it. Sony's like, oh, you gotta shorten that dress, you gotta do this, you gotta cover that cleavage up, and Nintendo's like, nah, man, we're good. Let them titties fly. It's okay. So the leg's gonna be up here. You guys see that? What happens when Miyamoto retires or passes away? Will Nintendo be what Disney is without Walt? I don't think so. And the main reason I'm saying that is that Miyamoto's old, and he has some good stuff. But at the same time, it's like Miyamoto has kind of like shit can stuff too. I mean, Miyamoto doesn't have anything really to do with Zelda. And look how Zelda's doing. I mean, Miyamoto has nothing to do with Smash Brothers or Kirby. Miyamoto always wants to do he always wants to innovate, which is cool, but he always wants to attach some kind of weird ass gimmick to stuff. If Nintendo just makes good games, that's fine. So, I mean, Miyamoto, he's not really like the guy. I mean, look at Splatoon. Like, Splatoon blew up. He has nothing to do with Splatoon. He has nothing to do with Fire Emblem. So, he did Mario Odyssey, and that's, but at the same time, it's like, look, they got rid of the goofy, the goofy gimmick. Like, Mario Odyssey's really good. I don't even think Miyamoto did anything with Luigi's Mansion either. So it's kind of like, honestly, it's almost feel like he's kind of holding shit back sometimes. Especially the stuff that he kind of shit on, which is weird. Mo Big says Atari is making consoles, but it's not the real Atari. Nah, man, they just lease their names out to whoever. It's not even Atari. The original Atari people aren't even involved. Somebody else bought the rights to Atari, and they just leased that shit. Hey Edwin, hail peeps, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. So I almost feel like when Miyamoto goes, I almost feel like it's gonna step up. Like, they're gonna be able to do more shit, in my opinion, when he retires. But they give him his project and he works on his project, but he's not like how he used to be in Nintendo, to where he's like coming up with all these cool ideas and stuff. Did they make the Atari VCS? From what I understand, they did. I think they did make the Atari VCS. It's not Atari. Whoever made it, but it's just kind of like, it's just a glorified like Raspberry Pi or something. It's not even like, I think people did get it, but it's like, okay. And even the price too was like retarded for how much you paid for it. I think they did release it. But Miyamoto's the guy that like shat on Donkey Kong Country. Like, Miyamoto thought Donkey Kong Country looked ugly, and he also shelved Star Fox 2, which Argonaut did. Argonaut did Star Fox 2, and they did some other stuff, but they were contracted to do Star Fox 2, and Miyamoto didn't like it and shelved it. And then when Star Fox 64 came out, Miyamoto grabbed a lot of the ideas that they had in Star Fox 2 and put it on 64, which was weird. So he's not even like, sometimes he's stuck in his ways, man. You know, I was gonna give him like these classic like fluffy boot feet, you know, or if I should get him like some Chuck Taylors. According to the wiki, it was shipped at the end of 2020. Yeah, it kind of came out like people got it, they got their stuff, but and that's it, man. It's not like it's like, oh, dude, like very weird. Yeah, I guess those three people got their consoles then. Yeah, the nightmare is the Intellivision Amico. That thing is if you haven't heard about that, that thing is a fucking clown show, dude. And again, it's people that have the license that are putting this stuff out. It's not like it's still in television. Eh, if you if you don't want to fuck around and you want true like shit, man, like yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. The Polymega. The Polymega is a modern console that plays the old school shit, and that's the future, and it's real. And it's not this weird Atari bullshit or anything like that. The Polymega, it's like 450, and it has different drives that you buy, and the front of the console comes off. And man, and the thing got a here. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see if I can find this thing. This thing's badass, and I was wary about it. And you could order one, and it takes like you order it, and then they make it, and then they send it to you. So when you order it, you probably won't get it for like 6 months. But one of my customers have this thing, and he built a PC to do emulation, and he has like upscalers and shit. And this guy swears that the Polymega is better. Let's pull this up. Okay, so they're also working on a gun. They're doing a gun. They're going to come out with a gun that's going to work on the modern consoles. They're doing 64. So here's what they did, what these guys did. So the Polymega, $449. All right, this thing is quality, right? So out of the box, this thing plays PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Sega CD, TurboGrafx CD, and Neo Geo CD out of the box. All right. Yeah, Amico canceled Earthworm Jim 4. I don't think they paid him to do it. I think they were like, this is what it's going to look like. They had some screenshots, and I don't think they you know, I don't think they after they announced it, there was no more shit that came up on it. So this is like new school and old school comes together. So right off the bat, it plays those four. This is the only console that does disc emulation. You hook it up to the internet, and it also comes with pre-downloaded patches. So you could put in a Japanese Saturn game, and it'll download or already have English patches installed, so you could play it in English. Right? You install a hard drive in it. It also has its own user interface. You install a hard drive in it, and you rip the ROM from your disk to your hard drive in two ways. You can rip it to where it loads faster. Of course, with Neo Geo CD games, that helps 100 times fold, because you would probably have to wait 15 minutes to play like King of Fighters on Neo Geo CD. When you rip the ROM to have it load faster, I mean, you're in a game in like 30 seconds, which is unheard of. So you can rip the ROM so it loads faster, or you rip the whole ROM onto the hard drive and you never have to insert your CD in again. So you have You can put your whole library on the hard drive, so you don't have to put your discs in anymore. You can download patches for the games, for Japanese games, to play them in English. There's even people that put in burnt Sega Saturn CDs in them, because there's guys that make like translated copies with ROMs loaded of like Police Knots, which is a big like Kojima game. Um, and But you have to play it on a modded Saturn. Uh, they grab those discs, put them in here, and it reads it, and they could rip the ROMs. So again, your Sega CD, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Neo Geo CD, TurboGrafx CD. So that's 5 consoles disc off the bat that you can rip the ROMs for. When you put the stuff in it, it gives you, with the user interface, it'll start recommending other shit to you. So it'll start recommending, like, oh, you like this game? Well, Tecmo also made this. Or if you like this, well, they also made, you might like these games too. So it's almost like Netflix for, they recommend stuff. So here's the kicker. That's out the box, right? They sell, this is also going to be the only emulation for 64 right now. They sell modules. So the modules, I think, are $80 a piece. Yeah, and they come with a controller. Now these controllers, these ain't no Mickey Mouse bullshit controllers. The controllers are like top of the line stuff. And the guy that again, the customer that owns it, like, he's a stickler for like OEM shit. But at the same time, hey Drew, 499, yikes. This thing is a premium product and worth every fucking penny. And that's what's crazy about it. And I was skeptical till my customer told me about it. So again, if you missed it off the bat, that's 5 consoles you get to play on it. Right out the box, right? And again, the patches that are downloads, you could play burnt games on it. You can play Japanese games, they'll translate it for you, stuff like that. It recommends stuff. They're working on their own store that you hook up to the internet, and you're going to be able to download games on it, like indie games. You're going to be able to download and like pay. They're making their own eShop. So here's the kicker: they sell the modules. The modules are $80. They come with one controller, and I think they have 4 games programmed on the module, on each module. Right? You could do the same thing. You put your Nintendo game in, you get to rip the ROM, so you can rip the ROM on your on the hard drive that you install on it. And then here's the you can play North America, PAL, and even Famicom. They're coming out with a Japanese one. So, and I think there's like 4 games programmed on it. So here's Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16. And each module is $80, comes with a top of the line premium controller, and they have a couple games programmed on it. If you're really looking for something that's like new school, old school, Atari VCS, all this other bullshit, it's not gonna touch this. And that's the crazy thing about it. So next time I come in, I'm gonna or he comes in, I'm gonna see he's gonna bring it to me. So here's the thing: if you have other friends that collect retro shit, right, especially retro games, you could just borrow the game from them, rip it, store it on your hard drive, and give them the game back. You just need that additional. You just need that for that disc to rip it. So then you and your friends can go and just borrow each other's shit and just rip out each other's games, and you have to double your freaking library if they got stuff that you don't got. You know, the picture and the emulation and the lag on this thing is like you don't even notice it. The best Sega Saturn emulation is on this thing, and that's why they're doing the 64. So before they announce stuff, they have to do, I think they do 95% compatibility. So what they did, and I think they did the same thing with the 64, there's a good Sega Saturn emulator that's out there for PCs, right? And the guy did it as a hobby. Well, what they did is they hired that dude to finish it, and they paid him to finish the emulator and then they bought the emulator to put on the console. And that's the same thing that they did with the 64, is that they hired the guy who did the most popular emulator that everybody uses. They paid him to finish it, and then they bought the rights to put on their stuff. So this thing has the best emulation on there. I mean, the dude that I was talking to, man, has like a $3,000 computer that he built for emulation, and this thing plays the games better than his PC that he built. Yeah, and they're also that's going to be a HD TV gun that's going to work with all the stuff that they have that has a light gun game. That gun's going to work with it. So Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So it's going to take the place of the Zapper, the Super Scope, Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn. So like the Virtual Cop and stuff like that. It's going to play on all those as well. So I mean, this thing is for 450. You're getting your money's worth, especially it emulating those 5 consoles off the bat and being able to rip it, especially Neo Geo CD, well, how slow those games load. So I see people coming out with like the Amico, which there's no audience for because the fucking Switch exists. And then the Atari VCS, which is like, dude, you just buy a Atari flashback compilation on a PS4 or any of them that came out in the past however many years. It's not like they're making new games. And if they do, they're just reskins of the old games. It's like, what's the point? You want something that's going to be badass, that's going to play the old games in the best way that you can? You know, dude, Polymega's it, dude. I mean, the Polymega's it. And I was skeptical too, and it all sounded too good to be true. But the dude that was telling me, man, he's like, and like I said, if he's such a stickler for old OG stuff, that to hear him put this thing over, man, it was interesting. 769 for everything. Yeah, if you wanted to play everything. I think they have a bundle though too. So here, 699, you get all the modules in the console. So they have a bundle, 699. Yeah, that's kind of the neat thing about Atari is that you can make like, especially with the technology now, you can make Nintendo games, you can make, Atari games, you can make all that stuff, but it's not like Atari. I think Limited Run's starting to do some Atari games too and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like, I mean, it's Atari, dude. Like, I mean, the same. That being said, too, they do new Dreamcast games all the time. I mean, Dreamcast still comes out with. I mean, they're poor. They found out Sammy, who did the Atomis Wave arcade stuff, was based on the Naomi arcade architecture that the Dreamcast is based on that Capcom used. So they're starting to port a lot of these arcade games that were on like Neo Geo and stuff. They're starting to port them to the Dreamcast and actually release physical copies. So the Dreamcast gets new games all the time too, which is cool. Um, but that's kind of like what kind of hurt it with the piracy is what allowed new games to come out for it, which is still neat. So the Dreamcast still has a loyal fan base, and they um, you know its own like subculture and stuff. Let's pull the music back up and we'll keep on drawing. But yeah, this thing is awesome, man. And it's just like, I mean, for the price, and they're after they do 64, they're gonna do Dreamcast. So I mean, Saturn emulation is really hard. There's no good Saturn emulation on PC. I mean, it exists, but it's not as good as this thing. So I feel like they're doing stuff right. And even I mean, dude, you're able to like rip all your games on a hard drive and have everything on a hard drive, and then use your buddy's games and throw them on a hard drive too. It's like, I mean, to me, it's like, you know, don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool, but this is something that you really have to dig retro games hardcore to pick up. That's probably the right. It is. It's a premium product for the retro game market. It's something totally. Those are full of games. Like those shelves back there, they're full of games. So it's totally up my alley. It's totally up for retro. Retro people. But then, like I said, at the same time too, you burn a Sega Dreamcast, you burn a CD, it reads the bootleg games too. So if you burn a Saturn game and put it in there, it reads it. And it also only rips ROMs that work. So if you have like a disk that might have disk rot and you put it in there and it can't rip it, something's wrong with the disk, is what you was telling me too. Yeah, Dreamcast or no sale. Yeah, when the Dreamcast, that's probably going to be it. When the Dreamcast module comes out, that's probably what I'm going to be getting, because Saturn and Dreamcast stuff, man, is probably like my top two. All the other stuff, I don't need it. Neo Geo CD would be nice. Sega Saturn or Sega CD is such a pain in the ass because you have to have the Genesis and the Sega CD with the lasers and all that stuff. So, yeah, just kind of a pain in the butt. Do they have Panzer Dragoon Saga? You could just get a bootleg copy, throw it on there, man. Let's get a bootleg copy. Rip the ROM. And then you have to track down all those hyper expensive collectible discs and cards. It depends. Probably not, honestly, because of all the bootleg games you can get now on Etsy, and that they're flashing on new boards now. You probably can get any game for like $30 if you really want it. Download the ROM on there and you're good to go. You know, so now some of them are going to be hard, especially some of the Saturn, the Japanese Saturn stuff and things like that. So, but like I said, it's something for if you already got the stuff, you know. So it depends. Yeah, but nobody rips rare Saturn shit anymore. It's all old rips from 2001 requiring Damon tools or whatever. I don't know. I know they make there's a guy I follow on Facebook and he makes high quality Saturn reproductions. Um like he puts them, like he'll do a reproduction, not necessarily like he doesn't do reproductions. He'll do stuff that's translated that was never released. So like Police Knots, like he does a nice 4-disc Police Knots set with like a manual and a box, and I mean the thing's legit. Um, so I mean it all depends. Um, but no, the Saturn community is very big. I mean, especially people that want to play the old stuff and things like that too. So, but there you have, I mean, I have friends that have rare games. I have rare games. It's like, cool, man. We'll just like, oh, come on over, man. We'll rip some shit. Be good to go. So it isn't for somebody that's kind of getting into it. What this product is for is guys that have a shelf full of games that to play everything on one console and not have 8 consoles hooked up, and to have it be put on HDMI out with no lag and hooked up to one TV. Like that's kind of who it's for. If you're trying to get into the stuff and you need the games, it's kind of like, it's I don't see the product really being for you. But if you already are a collector and you have those games and you don't want to have, like, that's 5 consoles I don't have to have hooked up. And then it's like I pull the game out, I rip the ROM, I put it back on the shelf. I'm not going to risk scratching my disc. It's just gonna, I mean, it's just there. And let's say a few years from now, I have it on the hard drive. If I want to sell the games, I can sell them if I wanted to. So, but yeah, no, it's for if you're already a collector, man, pretty much. But then the gun and then the controller it comes with is a wireless controller that's legit. Like he's like, I don't like using, my customer. He was like, I don't like using third party controllers and stuff. But he's like, I love using their controllers. So it's a premium product for collectors, is what it is. Let's get some more music going on here now. It's too quiet. It's kind of eerie. Do do do. I gotta find this thing again. Bo, bo, bo. I just need one. I don't need. Boop. Jay dashed my question about the Virtual Boy headset and the Tiger headset. I seen somebody consolize a Virtual Boy, man. I thought it was pretty cool. If they come out with more kits like that, that'd be pretty neat. Are these guys all in or not? I don't know. Virtual Boy had what, 20, 30 games like for as a full collection? The problem with the Virtual Boy is they have when they did the eye lenses, like the eye things, they didn't solder. Like there's some kind of contacts that they didn't solder. They like glued them. So over time the glue separates and then one of the eyes always stops working. That's a problem with that. I would love it if they did a Game Boy or a Game Gear. I feel like Game Gear is totally underrepresented. And if they did a Game Gear module for you to like rip Game Gear games and stuff, I think that'd be neat too, because there's a lot of neat Game Gear stuff and it's not that expensive. But trying to play it is a problem because Game Gears, unless you get it like recapped or you put one of those, they have one of those like McWill screens or mods or whatever that make it look awesome. Game Gear was, of course, like Sega, they're always ahead of their time. Anytime they release something, it's pretty much a portable Master System. But I guess they could do an adapter maybe for the Genesis one. But then again, too, like I said, the modules have games on it. Like they each have like 4 games. Yeah, my Game Gear screen stopped working, but it's probably the caps or something, man. If you just get a white screen, it's like the caps. I seen somebody do a console of that too, and I think that'd be really neat. Like they just like grab the guts and then they like put it in like a 3D printed box and stuff, and they made like a console that you hook up to your TV, and you just hook up like a controller to it. As much as I like handhelds, I don't want to play on a tiny screen, man. I'm 40 years old. I'm over tiny screen. And if I do play something, like if I play my Switch, I'm probably playing something like Animal Crossing or like Pokemon or something that I'm not like deep into or like involved that I need like a good controller or something for. I was trying to play Metroid Dread, man, and trying to get those button presses, fighting the Emmys and stuff. This was getting murked. I'm like, I gotta stop doing this shit. Let's give it some neat looking bolts on it. I think that'll be kind of cool. You guys see that okay? I think you guys can see that all right. Yeah, drawing chat went to from drawing to game shit. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. Please, I'm gonna have to get up in 5 hours. Tell you what, kids get up early here, man. Like, especially the little ones, dude. It's like we gotta get up at like 6 in the morning. I'm like, what? And like I come back and I'm seeing all these like middle school kids and stuff. I was like, man, when did you kids, all you older kids sleeping in? What's wrong with you? It's real light, but I can kind of make it out. Cool, man. I'm glad. I'm about to just do some inks on this thing. Just outline it real quick. I think I kind of got it where I want it. This foot though ain't turning out that well. I'm liking this one here. This one's just weird to me. Like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna throw an ink on it. get some. Find out which one it is. Not that one. Commodore Amiga CD32. So how much is the add-on? If there was an audience for it, I bet you they would do it. Honestly. Nope. Where the hell did I put this damn thing? I hate these. These are good ones, but man, it's this one. There we go. Right, maybe I'll ink them and then scoot them over on another piece. Is this thinner? Yeah, this piece is slightly thinner. I don't even know where this paper came from. My wife was like, "Here's some paper." I said, "Cool," but it's like thinner than normal paper. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't like this other foot, man. It's bothering the shit out of me. Can I make that bigger? Can we do that? Well, I don't want to be big. No. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! Where can we do that? It says drag to reorder. There we go. Holy shit. No. Okay. Can we do that like that? There we go. That's better. Let's try. See how this turns out. Yeah. I'm not sure if I like this marker or not yet. I think maybe a felt tip one might work better. Another thing I like about this Melon app is that you can set up an intro and an outro. I think that'll automatically play when you start or stop a stream, which is cool. There we go. Maybe I need a thinner one like this, maybe. Yep, I think I hear somebody up. I think my little one might be up. Mm. So we'll have to wrap this up real quick. Hammer came out kind of neat. I gotta work on it. I want to put like a big X on the front, like a big no, and he's like smashing shit. Let's see if I can fix this thing. You know what, man? We'll let it ride. right, we'll let that dry. We'll hit that real quick with the eraser. I usually don't render this guy too much either. I wanted to do the regular pencil instead of the blue line because I want to erase it. I think this is just larger printer paper, honestly. Mom, I lost my other eraser, man. I had I think this is a newer one, but the other one I think I had since like high school. And all of a sudden, I think the dog ate it. Let's do it quick. Try to do a wham. Move that down. So I feel like it's too close. It's too close to his foot. Some more breathing space. Yeah, I think my little one's up. I'll come back to this one later. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting. Appreciate you guys. That's what I got right here. And I'll post that later when I get it done on Twitter. So thanks, y'all, for stopping by. And hey, I'll catch y'all Tuesday. Later, guys.